on doing any advocacy work? If so, what groups or organizations would you like to work with? So I would like to work with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I feel like after my experience, I honestly feel like I really want to give back. It wasn't fair.
First, I want to point out that she is not shifting her eyes all over the place. This is important further into this, but what you see here where she's looking up is recalling information, data collecting. This is not a sign of deception here, but this is going to be more important later on. I did want to touch on the advocacy that she has unfortunately failed to do so far, and if she truly intended to and still intends to do advocacy work. So that is why I am covering. But I do want you to notice that her eyes are not shifty all over the place. There's no sign of deception here, but that's important based on what we're going to see here shortly.
To those kids what my mom did, getting me a wish, and pretending to make me look like a sick child so my mother could get us a free trip to Disney. My first trip to Disney, I was 10 years old. I was a child. I did not know that my mother was taking it.
So now we're starting to see a few signs of potential deception. At the very least, we're seeing some discomfort about this topic. So you're seeing an increased blink rate, which does indicate stress. Her starting to shift her eyes a little more, not just telling us things. And then verbally, we're seeing her hand the accountability all over to her mother, which is to be expected. It's something she has done many times before, but that is what we're seeing here. This is not Gypsy's doing. She does not fully take ownership over the fact that there was fraud. She did take trips that her and her mother, to my knowledge, did scam people out of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Specifically, they scammed those people out of money and they received free trips. So you see this shift in referential me, my mom, us, based on what she is willing to own up to. Her mother was the scammer, in her words. They took the trip, though. It was their trip. And this is something she has done many times before, so not a surprise there, but that is just what we are observing. Along with the shifty eyes and some indications of stress. Very rapid blink rate, which I believe is very noticeable to anybody, but I do want to point that out that she has increased blink rate, and that is an indication of stress.
Advantage of this organization, and it breaks my heart.
After me adding this in real quick, there was rapid eye blinking here, followed by an eye block, which is the elongated closing of the eyes, an aversion to something or holding something in, usually a memory, which is not in this case, indicating at least some discomfort in saying this. And then there's also a lilt at the end there that makes this more of a question than a statement of reality, a confirmation of reality. It's a lack of confidence.
To know that, so I personally have made a donation to Make-A-Wish, because I feel like there is nothing that I could ever say that will make that right. However, by giving I
won't go over the lip licking because I have before, and people are telling me that it's part of her microdeletion. I'm not a doctor to say that that is or is not the case, but we are still continuing to see the rapid eye movement, some bouncy behaviors, some discomfort and unnatural movements there when she's discussing that she would like to work with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And again, it isn't, I feel bad that I did this. It's, I feel bad this took place. It's distancing language around this particular foundation and topic and issue that took place where there was a lot of fraudulence.
Donation to Make-A-Wish made me feel like I was giving that wish back to a child. That I was giving back what was taken. So I feel like that is an organization, a foundation that really, really is so at the root of my heart and my being. So I would really like to work with them, as well as other projects that deal with prison reform. Prison reform is another thing that I feel like
a continuation of distancing language. I want to give back what was taken, and her eyebrows raised. That is an emphasis behavior. It really illustrates the importance of giving back what was taken away, but there's some distancing language there. Not what I took, what my mother took, which in itself would have still been her failure to take accountability at all. So we're seeing some distancing language there to give what was taken. And I believe that part of that is her feeling that things were taken from her, this childhood perhaps. I also want to say, and it's a bit of a tangent off topic here, but what she could be doing here if she wants to give to children is give to children, not just talk about wanting to work with this foundation. There are a lot of things she could be doing. She could be providing trips herself, starting a foundation herself. She, to my knowledge, doesn't have any pictures with children. She's not doing anything like that. So I believe we're seeing some stress and rapid blink rate because of that, because there are things that she knows she could do in the back of her mind that she's not doing, not willing to do, and that she's not being fully honest about wanting to give back and do something and actually advocate. I'm going to say allegedly. That's my belief, but this is speculation, but that is what I believe we're seeing. And then, of course, you see all the self-soothing behaviors there, which do also continue to indicate that she's not comfortable even talking about this.
Is very close to my heart. Having done 8.5 years in prison, I know what it's like to be a prisoner. I know that inmates are not always treated fairly. I was guilty of my crime, but there are a lot of other people that are innocent of theirs, and they don't get to have their voices shared enough. So I would really like to shed light on that kind of stuff.
This is why I wanted to point out the shifty eye thing at the beginning of this, was because you see a little bit of that, especially when she's saying that she served 8.5 years. A quick Google search tells you she only served 7, and I did that Google search specifically because I was seeing indications of deception here. I figured there's something here that she's displaying some stress about. Rapid blink rate, shifty eyes, bouncy movements, not natural. She clearly has some discomfort, and I wanted to know why. And according to Google, she only served 7 years, and I'm not sure why she says 8.5 here, but that is what we are seeing.
Develop when doing advocacy work. Of course, I think that, like, as far as advocacy work goes, I feel like that's been a journey for me, because I feel like I haven't found my place yet. So I feel like maybe taking some courses in psychology would help me have a better understanding.
You see an eyebrow raise very quickly when she says journey for me, so that is something important to her. And then you continue to see the increased blink rate and shifty eyes. And this one part, she looks down. That was data collecting, recalling information. But then she goes right back into the indicators of stress and discomfort around this topic, advocacy. And to be honest, I'm not sure why she chose to actually answer this question, aside from perhaps stirring up some more controversy around this.
Of what I'm advocating for. Because I think that's one problem right now is I just don't have enough knowledge in that. You know, I have my experience to share my experience, and I do that by sharing my story. But to advocate for something, what does that mean? And so I'm trying to find what that means to me, and I feel like I need to gain more knowledge to be able to advocate. So I'm looking into taking course.
We're also seeing a lot of sort of fidgety behaviors and anxious behaviors that we did not see prior to this, that are not part of her just telling us anything that's actually taking place. So she does this and these fidgeting behaviors. She's moving around a lot. She's not looking at us. She's not telling us, you know, these are the skills I would like to have. It's just, I don't think that I know what advocacy even means. And it's such an unnatural way of speaking, and it's definitely not part of her baseline behavior. So that is what we're seeing here.
This is in psychology, getting that background knowledge to help me help others. So, there's that. If I could have dinner with anyone in the world, who would I pick? Who would I choose? Is it wrong to say Jesus? I mean, who might want to have dinner with Jesus, right?
So, of course, some discomfort around that as well. She covers her neck This is an offensive behavior. Covering her neck if you were to pick. She's very uncertain about this particular question, and again, continuing to see rapid blink rate and just some signs that she's not fully comfortable with answering this. Potentially signs of deception. I don't think we're seeing that as much with this question though, because it is just a general question about something that she might like to do and not something that she has already done. And so we're also not hearing that distancing language that she has used prior to this when she said things such as my crime, instead of specifically telling what she had done.